On the 23rd of March 2020, the UK Prime Minister had this to say.
I must give the British people a very simple instruction. You must stay at home. Because the critical thing we must do to stop the disease spreading between households. That is why people will only be allowed to leave their home for the following very limited purposes. Shopping for basic necessities as infrequently as possible. One form of exercise a day, for example, a run, walk or cycle, alone or with members of your household. Any medical need to provide care or to help a vulnerable person, and travelling to and from work, but only where this is absolutely necessary and cannot be done from home. That's all. These are the only reasons you should leave your home. You should not be meeting friends. If your friends ask you to meet, you should say no.
And once that had been said, the UK went into its first national lockdown. Essential shops would have been closed and people would have had to stay at home unless they had to go to work to help save lives and help support the NHS. This would have come at a cost of people's mental health though, which shouldn't really pay a price, but we'll later find out how people are struggling with their mental health and how they've improved it. I then went on to interview my good friend Joe Stackable. He's a grassroots football referee and coach, and he's been really struggling over the lockdown. So I just thought I'd give him an interview to give his perspective on things.
Right, I am here with Joe Stackable. It's nice to have you, Joe. Thanks for your time. Just going to ask you some quick questions. First one is obviously we've been in restrictions and lockdown in and out. It's been a bit hectic. It just feels like at the moment the government and the Prime Minister don't know what he's doing. But how's your life going during lockdown?
It's been all right, to be fair. With regards to lockdown and football, I believe December was just restrictions, so we were still able to do one-to-ones, but with massive precautions. Going into January, I believe lockdown started towards the end of January. Well, it might have been the start of January.
I think so. It's one of the two.
Yeah. So we had to stop then, whenever it was in January. So then we was just doing one-to-ones. But then we had to stop due to the full national lockdown. So apart from that, it's been okay, to be fair.
That's good to know.
Better than other people.
Yeah.
I feel pleased that I've been happy with better than other people. That just didn't make sense. That just wasn't English. I feel grateful that I've been better off than other people.
Yeah, that's good to know. Moving on, do you think how has your mental health been? Do you think it's struggling because of COVID-19? Obviously, you just said you feel all right, but obviously everyone has them days. But no, it sounds like you're in good spirits. But just to wonder, how do you think your mental health is doing at the moment? Obviously, being inside all the time and not being able to go out.
Yeah, I've spoke to other people about it, and at the minute I'm okay. But I said I think this lockdown, depending on when we come out of it, I think I'll be worse because the first lockdown, obviously nothing was happening, but I was okay. We were still doing stuff. You were still allowed out on that, really. The second one, for me personally, we went at lockdown. We were still doing football, so I was fine there. And going back to the first one, actually, towards the end of lockdown, we were back to football. But then this one, there's actually nothing apart from the elite sports and the elite football teams. So I think depending on when we come out of this, if it's further along the line than what it is now, I think I'll struggle. But then if it's when they've said, I think I'll be okay. I think I'll be able to last that extra month that we've got left, I think.
That's good to know. That's really good to know.
Just adding on to that, it's not just people's mental health side to it. It's what they do for a living.
Yeah, it's just their life.
That they're not allowed. It's their income. But obviously, the mental health plays a massive part in it.
Moving on, I was going to say Premier League, elite football, any really elite sport, but especially the Premier League and let's say Championship, League One, and League Two. I mean, they've been helping a lot of fans. To be fair, I mean, when the first lockdown happened in the summer, no football, nothing to look forward to in the way I see it. There was every week I'd look at it and you think it's all right. You got the football at the weekend or in the midweek or whenever, but we didn't have that. I mean, to have that now, it's brilliant in my opinion. I mean, even I do struggle sometimes. If there's nothing to look
100%.
forward to, then it's good to know. But obviously, football's helped you a lot. I'm guessing it's really obviously it's kept your head up and just kept you occupied during being inside.
Yeah.
Right, that's good. Moving on to the next one.
Yeah, 100%. I think seeing the
Yeah, my internet's being really shit.
Can you still no, I was just saying with the Premier League, just how much it's helped other people as well.
Yeah.
Just being able to, if they're still at work, come home, be in the games at 6 o'clock, sitting down for dinner, watching the football.
Yeah.
What more can you want?
Oh no, that's the highlight really. Sorry there, my
Better than
internet.
watching EastEnders and that.
Yeah. No, sorry, my internet cut out there for a second, but we're back. Moving on to the next one. Obviously, this is perspective. Obviously, Boris Johnson said that as of March 8th, that could be the earliest where some restrictions are lifted, and let's say we can go back to college and other schools can be opened. How long do you think it will last?
Well, if the rate keeps going down, I think we'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll be back quicker than expected, seeing as people thinking that we're going back later. I've heard there's things been put in place, whether that's schools go back, and then if that's okay, outdoor sports go back, then shops will open. But I think if the rate keeps going down, we can get back to, well, it's not normality, is it?
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
Get back to something better than what we're in now. But then if the rate keeps going up, which I'm sure it's going down at the minute, if it keeps on going up, then obviously it's going to be longer than we expect.
I mean, from what I know, the rate's gone down in the past couple of weeks. It's gone down very slowly, and people are telling him to. From what I've heard, he's being told to open shops and open schools and stuff like that. But he's standing his ground this time. I think from what the news reports have said, he's standing his ground, and he said, no, we're going to wait until March 8th and see what happens. Which is the best thing to do in everyone else's sense. I mean, everyone's been crying out for him to take charge and take control, and I feel like he's doing that now. But I think most children and most college students and university students are hoping that they all go back to education on March 8th. That would be the best thing for them at the moment. Moving on to my last question. How do you think the government and obviously the new young health ambassador, Dr. Alex George, and Boris Johnson, how can they help people that are struggling in lockdown with mental health? How do you think they can help them?
Well, firstly, starting off with having Alex from Love Island, as he's known.
Yeah.
I think that's good. He's a specialist. There's someone else involved there, which is good. Whether that is to talk to, take advice from, read up on, whatever. I think going forward, I'm not just saying this from being involved with football, working in football, that being my income and that, whatever. But I think outdoor sports should be back when people are back to school, for example. Because at the end of the day, that's a big part of people's stuff. Like, I think they're talking about the music side of things and the entertainment. Again, that's people's life, and if they're not doing that, then that can really affect their mental health. I'm not going to speak about the other side of that because I'm not going to have an idea about it, like the music side of that. But for football, obviously, Sunday League, for example, people do that to get away from being stuck indoors.
Yeah.
Non-league, it's obviously they get paid, but it's the secondary side of their income, really. But go into grassroots. If they're at school, I can't see why they can't play football, rugby, whatever. With non-league, I've said this before, but they're still at work, most of the players. So then that would mean they're coming from working environment to play football in a stadium with fans. It's just not safe. As much as we all want it to be back, there's ways to doing it, and people say, why can't I just get tested? Testing costs so much money. And it's too much. The elite teams can afford it. Obviously, it's big money coming out of clubs. But I think be a way to get something back, as in amateur outdoors, but people's mental health, physical health, and being not having COVID, not being in hospital, whatever, is way more important. But I think there can be a way to get stuff back.
Yeah, I was just gonna add to that. I mean, like you said, Sunday League, stuff like that. I mean, they have kids turning up in obviously their PE kits if they have PE that day when they do go back to school, because I've seen it. I mean, it's the best way to do it. I mean, under these circumstances, I mean, realistically, you can't even get, like, kids can't even get changed in the changing room, because obviously it's such a there's so many it's such a mass like group of children, it's unsafe. And I was also going to touch on Dr. Alex George. I'd say he's quite a good role to take that mental health ambassador role. I mean, he's been in this situation. I mean, he lost his brother, sadly, really sad for him. But I think him and Boris Johnson will work together during these times, and especially during these times, because this is where they're most needed. This is the time for them to shine and prove that they can
100%.
That they can help mental health and change it, and just show people that there is a light at the end of the tunnel and that they're not stuck in darkness.
100%. Well said.
I mean, again, thanks, Joe. Your time has just been brilliant. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me. And hopefully you and even I will meet up again soon after the lockdown has lifted, and we'll just hopefully sort everything out and everything will be back to some sort of normality.
100%.
So as you can see, Joe was in a good place. He had a conversation, we had a nice chat, and it was good. But that's not the same for everyone else, unfortunately. And some people struggle. Alcoholics, they turn to alcohol as they have nothing else better to do. The same with drug addicts, and the same with people who could self-harm or even take their own life. I took a survey earlier this year, and over 60% reported disruptions to mental health services for vulnerable people. 72% of them were children and adolescents. If that doesn't say anything, then what does? 67% saw disruptions to counselling and psychotherapy, and 65% of people saw disruptions to critical harm reduction services. It's wrong. And to be fair, the lockdown has been cruel, and people like Boris Johnson and the government haven't looked at this. They've just got on with it and only cared about the money side, and it's not right. Over 30% of people reported disruptions of access to medications for mental, neurological and substance use disorders. It's not right, and it needs to change now. Or before you know it, people are going to be taking their own life, or they already have, and we just don't know about it. It's terrible, and it needs to change. After that, I decided to interview my best friend Daniel. I know he's been struggling with his mental health over this lockdown, so I just thought I'd check up on him and see how he's doing, and also have his views on what the government are doing to help him and other people.
2, 1. Hello, my name is William Edwards, and I'm joined here with Daniel Woodger. Thank you for joining me, Daniel, today. I'm just going to ask you a couple questions on mental health and in lockdown, and obviously how your opinion on restrictions, stuff like that, and just how you're feeling.
Okay.
Right. First question. How's your life been since lockdown? I know it's hard for everyone, but how's it been for you?
Honestly, myself, I've been all right. I'm getting fed up with it.
Mhm.
Honestly, I think everyone is. Obviously, I don't know. I think overall, I'm all good, but obviously, I'm having everyone has faults. I'm having negative thoughts in my head, but I'm moving past them.
Yeah.
And we're getting through it. Like, it's all good.
Yeah, that's calm.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the same for everyone, to be honest. The other person I spoke to before you, he said the same. I mean, everyone gets past it. It's just you have to get on with it at the moment, and you just do the best that you can do. The next question is, how is your mental health dealing with the lockdown restrictions and not being able to go out, and obviously not seeing friends, stuff like that? How's your mental health doing?
I mean, obviously we got gym and stuff, so, and obviously now that they're closed, you can't go there, and like we said before, it's like therapy almost, and it's really helpful for your mindset.
Yeah.
But obviously now that you can't go, it's a little bit frustrating, and I'm getting a bit fed up with not being able to go, because it's good to track your progress and stuff, and it feels really good to change yourself. But yeah, then that's one of the biggest factors of mental health. My mental health being pretty low, but I think overall I'm okay. I'm dealing with it, getting through it. But yeah, any longer, honestly, it's not gonna be great.
Yeah, no, I understand. I mean, I'm the same with you. We both go to the gym, and it's just it's some sort of motivation to get going. I get what you mean. It just gives you that kind of boost, and it just keeps you going. But
Yeah,
hopefully they'll be back open soon, and we'll be back on the grind and just back to normality, you should say.
yeah.
Another thing that has probably helped you, I don't know if it's definitely helped me. The Premier League, obviously, sports, football, any sports really. I mean, it's a big, like, I don't know, it kind of like takes you away from all the stress in life, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
obviously, sports has probably helped you a lot. Has it?
Yeah, I think it's helping everyone really. I think they've got such a big population, like, well, sports in general. We're not even just talking about football here. I think there's so many fans out there and it's got to be at least 40%, probably even more than that of the UK's population that watch football and watch.
Oh yeah.
Sport. So it's a huge help. I don't think they can stop it from going on, because it just wouldn't work. I just think that'd be a scandal. It's enough that people being out the stadiums, but obviously if they shut it off, then people would not be happy. But,
well, I mean, we had Project Restart last summer. That was about 2-3 months of no football, and that was painful.
Yeah,
because you had, again, it's nothing to look forward to. It's just again, sports in general. I mean, I saw in a news report Australia, because obviously they're so ahead of us in like vaccines and just dealing with the coronavirus. They're now they're going to admit 30,000 fans into a stadium to watch the Australian Open for the tennis, that's a massive step in obviously the right direction for sports in general. I mean, if they can let 30,000 fans in here, then surely football isn't far behind. But yeah, it's glad to hear that football is having like a good mental. It's keeping your mentality good, and it's just keeping your mind good, and just helping you out during the pandemic. Next question is, obviously the lockdown is set to lift on the 8th of March. So next month. I don't know if you think that's going to go through. Obviously, everyone hopes, especially us with college and obviously people, universities, secondary schools, etc. I mean, do you think it will be allowed back to school on March 8th?
I hope we do, because obviously it's not so much. It's not all really necessarily the lessons that I miss. Like being in the lessons, it's more because I can deal with being in online lessons. It's just more not being able to see the people from your college.
Yeah,
because like you travel there. I don't. It's probably not like that for a lot of people, but I'm lucky enough to be able to travel with friends and stuff, and like just for my mental state to be normal because
Yeah.
I get to travel with friends because so many people live in my area and so many people are going to my college, and it's just really helpful. And even if gyms weren't open, I feel like it would still help quite a lot. But again, I can't see it happening honestly, and if it does, it won't be many students.
Yeah, no, that's to be fair, it's understandable. I mean, Boris Johnson's had a lot of hate for the past times where we've had a couple months and the rate of infection goes down, then everything's opened again, and it just skyrockets back up. But he seems to be holding his ground on this one. But yeah, I mean, I think it will be in. I don't know. I mean, if they don't open them in March, then I just think they're going to scrap the whole school year again, like they did last year.
Yeah, I would say so. They have to. But yeah, again, it is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah. Moving on to the last question. Obviously, they appointed the new mental health ambassador, Dr. Alex George from Love Island. I mean, that's going to have some sort of good impact because he's obviously going to want to help people who have mental health problems, seeing as he lost his brother not long ago. It was quite recent, to be fair. How do you think, like him, the government, and even the Prime Minister, like put not like point fingers and stuff like that, but kind of like set stuff in place for people with mental health problems in lockdown to kind of like get help and stuff like that?
I mean, I honestly don't really know what they can do if it at the end of the day if they're trying to stop this virus going around, they've got to keep doing what we're doing right now, or
Yeah.
obviously just live with it like America are. But obviously that's not really an option, is it? But I think maybe they'll open up some, I don't know, somewhere for people to talk or something. I don't know, as long as they've like signed up to it or something. I honestly don't know what they can do. In order and keep the infections down as well at the same time. I just don't think there's really much they can do. I think no matter what they tell people, I don't think it'll matter anyway. I think even now you've still got people going out. I just think, whatever happens at the end of the day. I don't know.
I mean, obviously you're right about that. People are still going out, and you can't really stop that. They proved that when we had to go into our first national lockdown. But I don't know. I just I feel that obviously these people need help. I've known that I read something yesterday that most people with mental health that need medicines and stuff like that, they're not getting it, and it's I would say it is heartbreaking because people like that, they need their help. They need help like that, and they need the stuff that I wouldn't say keeps them straight, but like doesn't stop them from doing things that they'll definitely regret. I mean,
Yeah.
We've definitely had people take their own lives throughout the pandemics and even self-harm and stuff like that. It's just, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's right to just say that mental health I'm not saying it's not a problem, but like to force it away, like just firm it out. They could have a little bit of help, but I get what you mean by saying that they can't really help them by much.
Yeah. Yeah, again, I think maybe giving them medicines, I agree with that. But then I think opening up places for people with mental health, I don't know. I just think there's not much you can do if your main objective is getting rid of this virus. It's a tough task, but we'll have to see.
No, I get what you mean. All right, Dan, that was the last question. I am thankful for your time that you've given me. Hopefully we'll be back to some sort of normality soon, and we'll be able to just get on with our lives as normal. And again, thank you.
And that's it. That's the documentary, guys. Thank you so much for listening and taking the time out of your day to watch it. I'd also like to thank Daniel Woodjack and Joe Stackable for letting me interview them and take part in this project in lockdown. It's been very hard, but you just push through and you put everything that you can into it, and this is the outcome. But just remember, guys, if anything's going wrong in your mental health or just anything in general, just don't hide, don't shy away from it. Please get in contact with someone and just let them help you, because that's the best thing. And no one wants anything bad to happen to each other or even themselves. But again, guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you all later.
I've been sad, I've been lost, I've been down and I've been lonely. Yeah, I've been suffering at a job in a world that tries to own me. But when I wake up every morning, there's an image of a better place. Yeah, 'cause the harder that we grind, then the sweeter is the glory. People say I'm foolish, people say I'm blinded by faith. But if I run out of air, if I crash, I don't care, I'm gonna do it my way. I can make it through this, you can throw the world in my face, but the fear gives me life, and I swear till I die, I'm gonna do it my way. Hey, gonna do it my way. Put me down, criticize me with your lies and with your parody. Yeah. In the darkness I don't hide, 'cause I got pride that gives me clarity. I still wake up in the morning with the vision of a better life. You see, the option of defeat's just not written in my story. People say I'm foolish, people say I'm blinded by faith. But if I run out of air, if I crash, I don't care, I'm gonna do it my way. I can make it through this, you can throw the world in my face, but the fear gives me life, and I swear till I die, I'm gonna do it my way. Hey, gonna do it my way. Gonna do it my way. Every time they build a wall around me, I will tear it down and say I'ma live my dream. Gotta live my dream. Now, even when the floods rush round to drown me, I just hold my breath and pray, let me live my dreams. Every single one of my, I ain't quitting none of my dreams. People say I'm foolish, people say I'm blinded by faith, but if I run out of air, if I crash, I don't care, I'm gonna do it my way. I can make it through this, you can throw the world in my face, but the fear gives me life, and I swear till I die, I'm gonna do it my way. Let me fly through the air, if I crash, I don't care, I'm gonna